Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines health as the condition of being well or free from disease, the overall condition of someone's body or mind, or the condition or state of something. Well, for my project, I didn't want to deal with something. I wanted to deal with people, public health. I definitely have always had an interest in people. Now, for the sake of the presentation, I'm going to keep it basic, and I'm not going to go into the whole idea of diseases, injuries, and non-well-being. So let's just say we're talking about average people that are disease-free. So the overall condition of someone's body or mind. Now, let's say you want to improve the overall condition of your body or mind. What would you do? You go on YouTube or you go on Google and you search in, how do I get in shape? How do I lose weight? How do I get that six-pack quick? How do I do all these things? Well, a good Google search will probably show you that to get healthy, you got to eat well, you got to train hard, you got to sleep a lot. These things are basic. These things are basic guidelines that anyone would vouch for. You read about it in my opener. Is there a problem with these three things? No, they work. They do work. However, the attitude that is brought upon you when you think about these three things, I don't like. I feel that people see health as a temporary leave from their own lifestyles in order to become healthy. So, people see eat well, they say, oh, well, I'll stop eating all the junk food I like to eat so I can eat well. They say work out hard. Oh, I'll stop hanging out with my friends during the day. And I'll stop doing all the activities I like to do so I can get to the gym, spend more time getting in shape. I sleep a lot. Well, I'll just stop going out at night so I can get more sleep. Well, now you're healthy on paper, but are you happy getting there? This whole idea of being happily healthy was the essence of my project. I wanted to find a way to give people a passage to find healthiness without sacrificing happiness. So, how do you do that? How do you help people find healthiness without sacrificing happiness? Well, your H2 is what I'm going to be referring to as your happy healthy, and that's where you want to be. You want to be happily healthy. Now, happiness should not be a destination, it should be a mean of travel. What does that mean? That means that in your passage towards a healthier lifestyle, you're using happiness to drive every action you make. Should I go to the gym for this long, or should I go to the gym for that long? I should use the happier option. Why? Because that way you're happy throughout the process, and you're reaching this happy, healthy destination. We all make sense? Happy, healthy? All right. Now, once I knew that happy, healthy was a goal to find, I had to know where it would be. Now, when I started, I thought to myself, well, there has to be one threshold, right? Somewhere that everyone wants to get to that is their own happy, healthy. Now, I quickly realized that it would be different for everybody. Everybody will have their own happy, healthy, just like a bodybuilder would not have the same goals as someone who runs marathons, and vice versa. Now, when I first started to think about how I could help people reach their own happy, healthy, I thought to myself, I said, why don't I just make a program? Why don't I make a set of guidelines that people can actively apply to their lifestyles in order to lead a happy, healthy lifestyle? So, my first attempt. I created a training and nutrition guide for people to take part in. I got 21 volunteers, all in high school. I got some freshmen in college. I got seniors in high school. I got juniors in high school. All of them did not lead the most active lifestyles beforehand. However, they were involved in sports. They liked going to the gym sometimes. Some of them had an activity they liked to do that was physically demanding. So I had 21 volunteers. And I told them that it would be easily applicable to their lifestyles. This way, I could see if they were enjoying the things they were doing and being happy about what they are doing to achieve that happy, healthy. Now, the training segment. I had three different aspects to it. I had the basic, challenging, and hardcore. They got to choose which one they wanted to do. Before I designed this, I looked into previous training programs and saw what they did right and what they did wrong. So what I got from that was a lot of training programs you see out there are unbalanced. And they are only focused to one group of people. There's only one set of training that people take part in that is the only thing that they're able to do. Now, for basic, that's for your average couch potato. That's for someone who just sits around, watches a lot of TV. And that essentially just consists of getting outside, moving for half an hour to 45 minutes a day, and a nightly routine of 20 push-ups. I don't know if you guys were in here in the room earlier, but Mr. Kenosi is doing 20 push-ups 3 times a day, and that's his happy, healthy. He has found a good way to train by putting in little bits of effort throughout the day. Now, cardio and resistance training were the formula I used to create a workout. So let's just take a look at a basic workout that I had. So this is a challenging upper body workout. I tell them how long it's going to be. I give them a dynamic warm-up, which gets them warm, gets them limber, and then I have the essence of the workout. I like to superset. Superset is a word used in the gym when you do 2 exercises at the same time. So first you start by doing a body weight exercise, which is a complex move. So dips, pull-ups, regular push-ups all involve multiple different muscle groups. Then you go into a hypertrophy-specific lift, which targets one muscle group. As far as upper body goes, you have your arms, you have your chest, you have your back, and then you have run. Your run and your cardio and cool down. So the run I like to put at the end for 2 reasons. When you run, you dip into your glycogen reserve. Your glycogen reserve is your sugar that you've stored from digesting carbohydrates. Your glycogen is then used after you've already focused on the lift. Now, why would you want to be tired more after you lift? Well, because lifting is a dangerous thing to do. You don't want to go into lifting after a run. I believe this, and research has claimed that if you go into lifting after you've already run, you are then tired, and you're more likely to make simple errors such as bad form and overdose on weight. I finished with a cool down, a static stretch to further release that lactic acid from your muscles and to prevent soreness the next day. Okay, the nutrition guide. It was not a diet. I didn't want to give kids just another diet that was avoid all your food. Avoid foods like carbohydrates, like the Atkins diet. No one likes to do that. Who wants to avoid foods and, oh yeah, you have to eat cabbage soup like 3 times a day? Who wants that? That's no fun. So I gave them guidelines to actively think about so they can eat healthier and think more consciously about the foods they put into their body. So these are the 3 most popular things on the guidelines. Your foods are 2 things that when they appear in your life, you can eat them. 2 foods that you enjoy that would otherwise not be on the list of foods that you're supposed to have. And why do I do this? I'm telling you to eat foods that are not good for you. I do this to keep you sane. You need to have foods to keep you balanced. On diets where you're completely eliminating carbohydrates, you break down, you go crazy, in the middle of the night you raid the cupboard, and then you eat tons of carbohydrates that you've been trying to cut off, and then, because your metabolism is slowed from not eating carbohydrates, you put on plenty of weight that you're trying to lose in the first place. This is called the yo-yo effect. Reading labels. A skill that I think everyone should know how to do when they're at a friend's house, at a restaurant, or at that gas station on a road trip, looking at different kinds of trail mixes, saying, oh, which one's healthy, which one's the best option. So I talked about a couple things that you should always look for on a nutrition label to know if you're eating healthy foods. Finally, eating at a restaurant. I feel like a lot of people tend to divert from their eating schedule, or they tend to cheat on their diet because the waiter or waitress comes around and goes, does anyone want dessert? And you say, it's a special occasion, I'll have it. That's fine, if it does not conflict with your foods. You see, there's plenty of tactics that go along with eating at a restaurant. Ask me during the Q&A, I'd love to get more into detail, but I don't have enough time right now. Measuring the results. Now, I don't have the resources, I don't have the time, I don't have the money to have all my training subjects go through a series of tests, like blood pressure, like pH of your blood, like your blood glucose levels, like your resting heart rate. All these things, as much as I'd love to measure them, I couldn't. I just did not have the ability and the manpower to be able to measure 21 different kids consistently and keep them constant on this program. So what did I do? I went with the content factor. How content are you with your athletic profile? Because this is, after all, you're happy, healthy. Are you happy with how you look? Are you happy with how you feel? Do you like who you see in the mirror every morning? So, when dealing with the idea of body image and feeling good about who you look like, I decided I'd meet with the school psychologists. What we established was that health is not directly correlated with happiness. However, a simple adjustment to your lifestyle focused on a healthy attribute would get you to see a result and then build on this idea of being healthy. So you start going to the gym, you start looking in the mirror, you say, hey, I look better. Now what if I started to eat better? So now you're eating and you're working out a lot, and then you say, oh, what if I started sleeping a little bit more? And it just builds. And then you reach your happy, healthy, where you're happily doing what you're doing, you're becoming healthy, and you're using happy, healthy to your advantage so you can reach a happy destination. Okay, I failed big time. 21 of my test subjects completely dropped the ball. Of the 21 that started, 17 of them dropped out. 2 hardcore stayed in, 2 challenging stayed in. Huge disappointment. I put so much work into this training program. Really, really, real bummer. What do you do when people drop the ball? you cry and you tell your mom how they're giving up, and then I got to go see Mr. Kenosi and I got to ask him what to do, and that's what I did. And he said, don't worry, man, it's only like week 9. You relax, you got plenty of time. So I got on the phone with all of them and I asked them why exactly they couldn't complete my training program. That way I would see what exactly in my training program they could not put into their active lifestyles. They could not use to achieve that happy, healthy time. The first thing that people told me was, I don't have the time to get myself into the gym. And this is when I realized that things like P90X, Insanity, T25, Brazilian butt lift, 10-minute trainer, all these things are used because people cannot find the time to get into the gym. People do not have the time to commit an hour, 2 hours of the day to get into the gym. So there's one problem. Motivation. No one could get motivated to get out of bed and get into the gym. And this is also why Things in Your Own Home exist. Because you can play that video, not have to really go anywhere, you can dance around a little bit, and then you get that awesome workout that way. That is what I realized what was so spectacular about Happy Healthy. Happy Healthy needs to be something that is easy to do, and it is something that you can get motivated to do because you know the results it will give you. All right, this was kind of a sour note to end on. I was like, where am I going to go next? I don't know what to do. In retrospect, I think it would have been smart to interview kids who already led active lifestyles. I think looking back on it that people should have, I should have gone to people who already led active lifestyles. I think that would have been a smart, you know what, I did do that. I interviewed 50 kids, 25 girls, 25 guys, all that led active lifestyles. 3 or more times a week they exercised. And I needed to ask them questions that would give me insight on how to achieve a happy, healthy. So I asked them 5 questions. How often do you work out? Outside of going to the gym, do you eat clean? Do you watch your diet? Or do you do anything else that concerns your health? What is your least favorite part of going to the gym or the getting fit process? Are you happy after a workout or happier in general because you work out? And finally, what do you use for motivation? All right, let's get you guys involved a little bit. Family Feud, SYP style. For the first question, we're talking about eating clean. What percentage of those 50 kids do you think ate clean outside of going to the gym? Just shout out some hands. What do you guys think? A, B, or C?
10%.
10%? 60%. 60% of kids that I interviewed actually ate healthy outside going to the gym. Question?
What does that mean?
That means that they said they watch their diet and they try to eat healthily outside the gym. They do not try and just go eat whatever, they go bananas on the weekends. They actually have a conscious effort towards what they put in their body. Now, what does that tell me? That tells me that people who already lead active lifestyles are willing to make the extra step. They're willing to build on what that psychologist had talked about. They're willing to build on what they've already discovered, that they can make progress, that they can eat healthier, and they can discover their own happy, healthy. Okay, worst part about working out. Well, as previous knowledge has taught us, finding time, getting motivated are both 2 answers that definitely would have come up. And finally, being hot and sweaty and breathing heavily. Those were the 3 top answers for why I don't like going to the gym. This is the worst part about working out. So which do you think was the #1 answer? It was C. People said that being at the gym was the worst part about leading an active lifestyle. So now I have a group of kids that don't work out, and they say getting to the gym is a problem. And I have a group of kids that work out, and they say being in the gym is the problem. So what do? You talk to someone who knows what they're doing. You talk to my mom, professional physical therapist. She owns her own practice. She was telling me about the feeling hot, feeling fatigued, being sweaty when you're working out. She said only women complain about this problem. And I was like, that's interesting. So I went back to my notes, and I saw who complained, and half the girls that answered this question said, I don't like being hot, I don't like being sweaty, I don't like being fatigued when I'm in the gym. Well, to tell you the truth, if you're not hot, you're not sweaty, you're not fatigued, you're probably not working hard enough. And to solve the sweaty factor, I guess say swim for cardiovascular exercise. I really don't have an answer. I don't think someone's going to see you in the gym and say, hey, look how hard they're working, don't hang out with that guy anymore. You know? All right, happier after a workout. What percent of my 50 kids said they were happier after they worked out or happier in general because they worked out?
Do you have choices?
I don't have choice. Out of 50 kids, how many?
75%.
Ooh, great guess. 80% of kids said they are happier after a workout or happier in general because they work out. All right. Beyond this, there were a few things that were brought up that I did not actually inquire about. Some kids actually said that they felt worse when they didn't get to work out. This tells me that when you lead your active, happy, healthy lifestyle, you have more of a need to get to the gym as opposed to a have to. Oh, I need to get to the gym. It is part of my schedule. It's not something that I throw away. And if I don't get there, I feel worse. 8 kids also mentioned confidence, mood, and morality. This was something that had come up earlier when I was talking to the school psychologist. We talked about how leading a healthier lifestyle can make you more confident with your own body and then lead into other healthy decisions that you make in your everyday lives. So if you feel better about your body, you might be more willing to raise your hand in class. You might be more willing to talk to that cute kid that sits across from you. Or you might even take more risks as far as what to do on a paper. You could talk about an experience you've already had from going from not being happy about your body to being happy about your body. So you see all these things that working out does for you, but we're still not really on a path to finding how to find your happy healthy, because I'm now talking to kids that have already found it. Now, motivation. Of these top 3, which one do you think was the number 1? For motivation. So wanting to have an attractive body or a specific body part that I would rather not mention, bikini/beach season or an upcoming vacation, or competing with someone else. I'll tell you right now, it was this one. However, all these 3 answers are different. However, they are a lot the same. If you look at all those 3 answers, there's a specific thing that they all have in common that is the essence of happy healthy, a key factor in discovering what your happy healthy is. All these 3 things have to do with competition. Friendly competition to look better than, to look good for, or to look better than you did. Just this friendly competition that keeps you going. And that is why, at the end of the day, I recommend having a buddy. Have someone there with you to help you get through a fit process. So you have someone and you say, hey, you going to the gym today? Oh, I already went. Oh, maybe I should get to the gym today because my friend already went. Or you go out to eat at a restaurant and you ask your friend, hey man, you going to eat healthy? Yeah, I will too. I won't cheat if you won't. Awesome. See, together you're becoming happy healthy. The teachers I know do something like a Biggest Loser, right? And then they have like a competition for who could lose weight. I thought that was brilliant. When I was talking to Mr. Bauer, he explained that that was one of the best ways that teachers find their own happy health. All right, some motivation tips for you. I don't know how much you guys are into exercise, but if you are, some tips that came up. Admire a favorite athlete. Follow some pages on Facebook. I know there's plenty of like blogs about health and fitness. They post plenty of different things that can use you and they can motivate you to get out of bed and get to the gym. Think about what you will look like, not what you could look like. Think about what you are going to achieve, not what, oh, if I did this, I could achieve that. No, you're going to succeed. That's going to come around later. Music, Spotify, views, Apple Radio. All those things have playlists designed by people who work out a lot that are specifically meant for motivating you to go work out. So all these things you can use to motivate yourself to get into the gym. Okay, so now we have the gym element. We have the working out. You have that 1 hour a day that you're spending on health. There are 23 hours left in the day. There is plenty of other time that you can use to find your happy healthy. There is time that you have to utilize in order to get happy and healthy. Okay. I talked to Mr. Bauer. He teaches the class about wellness and awareness of your own health. And when I was talking to him, I was asking him about things that you can do actively during the day in order to become healthier. Because these simple attributes and these simple decisions you make towards health will get you to your destination. Something called the active passion came up. Your active passion is something you like to do that is a healthy choice. It's something you actually enjoy to do, and it's a physically demanding activity. So tennis, kayaking, skateboarding, pole dancing, hiking, all these things are examples of things you can do that you might enjoy or you might not enjoy. Golfing might be another one. Swimming might be another one. So your active passion can be in place or on top of going to the gym. Your active passion is something you can use to find your happy healthy. You can get exercise and enjoy getting that exercise at the same time. So I began to think of this equation as the happy healthy method, how you can find your own happy healthy. This was before I even started thinking about the other time. I was just thinking about your workout. So active passion plus or minus your gym equals your happy healthy. What does that mean? My mom loves to play tennis. She plays tennis 4 times a week for about an hour a day. Now, that time she spends playing tennis, she enjoys it. And she is able to find her happy healthy by playing tennis and by getting active and by getting like sweaty and worked up and having a great time. And then, if you look at that, you don't even need the gym. She has found her happy healthy just by using only her active passion. Now, you can look at someone with more ambiguous goals. You might say, hey, I like playing tennis, but I also want to have bigger shoulders. So maybe once or twice a week, I'll get to the gym and I'll work out my shoulders, which I would not recommend. That's not very balanced. However, that is their happy health. That is how they found their happy health. Now, how do you know that you have found your happy healthy? Because you've been doing this for a long time now. You've been doing your active passion. You've been going to the gym a little bit. How do you know that you've reached it? Well, your happy healthy will be where your goal does not exceed your capability and your capability does not interfere with your active passion. So a goal you have for where you will be, not where you could be, is exactly where you want to be for your active passion. For your happy healthy. You want to use your active, All right. So the whole process of getting to your happy healthy, I found, is a lot like planning a road trip. First thing you do when you're planning a road trip is you identify goal to route. Let's say you want to go from Boston to San Francisco. You want to do it in a week and a half. That's your route. You know you're going to take that route. Then you identify your passion. So let's say on a road trip, you want to stop at all the botanical gardens in the United States. I have no knowledge of botanical gardens. I'm just going to use it for the sake of the presentation. So let's say you want to stop at all the botanical gardens and you know where you want to be. Then you're going to modify your schedule to include that passion. So instead of a route that looks like this, and you're getting there in a week and a half, and you're spending day and night, hours and hours and hours on the road, trying to get to that destination, unhappily, you can include your active passion, hit all your active passions, and still get to your destination. You are having a happy time reaching your destination. So just like happy healthy, you want to use that time that gets you from point A to point B to be happy, and then reach a happier destination. So that's exactly how you should think about your happy healthy, as a place to get to using happiness. Modify your goal. When I was talking to Mr. Bauer, he brought up a funny example. He said, if you want to lose 150 pounds in a year, but your passion is doing yard work, you may have to rethink a couple things. You may have to rethink how long it's going to take you to get there, or where you actually want to get in the first place. You may think about, oh, my goal should be only losing 20 pounds. That's completely realistic. Or I still want to lose 150 pounds, but I have to rethink my goal if I'm just going to be doing yard work. It might be more like 3 years. See, it is longer. It will take longer to get to your goal, but you're enjoying the time it took to get there. And that's the key with happy healthy. Okay, succeed. You have to know you're going to succeed. I talked about this a little bit before. When you get on the road to get somewhere, you don't say to yourself, hey, I'm going to divert from the road, and I'm probably not going to get there. Why would you do that? You know you have a destination, and you know when you want to get there. You continue on that path. You make small adjustments as you go. You stop for gas. You get food. However, you get to your destination. Just like you're happy, healthy, you have to believe in yourself. You got to know that what you're going to do is going to have a positive influence on where you want to go. You want to use this motivation and this happy drive to get you to where you want to be. So you have to know that what you're happy doing will work. Okay, enter the slight edge. Don't worry, it's almost done. Bear with me. Jeff Olson, I was reading this book called The Slight Edge, and this was not for my project. It was not related to my project, but after reading this book, I realized that it has a lot to do with my project. The book basically talks about a philosophy that all successful people have. All successful people know that to get to your happy, healthy, you need to constantly apply effort in the way of achieving your goal. What does that mean? That means that tiny tweaks make big changes. I'm sure some of you have seen Amy Cuddy's TED Talk about body language and how you can stand like this, like I did 20 minutes ago before I came in here. Well, you feel better when you do that. These tiny tweaks in your life lead to big changes. So in your happy, healthy, when you make small adjustments or simple disciplines versus simple errors in judgment, the quality of your life will improve over time. So how do I explain this? Let's talk about a cupcake. We'll use a cupcake, for example. Let's say that first day you eat a cupcake. You say, oh, not a big deal, just one cupcake, not a big deal. That's fine. Next day goes by. You have another cupcake. 3, 5, 10 days goes by. Nothing big. After 100 days, 200 days, you find yourself 20 pounds overweight and unhappy with where you are. Why did that happen? Because these simple errors in judgment added up to where you now do not want to be, right? Now, what if you took 20 push-ups a night, like Mr. Kenosi is doing? He is making simple disciplines over and over. After 1, 5, 10, 20 nights, that might not mean anything, but soon, after about 3 months, he's somewhere that's amazing. He's looking in the mirror saying, how did I get this big? This is unbelievable. And that's just from doing a simple thing all day. How can we apply this to happy, healthy? Well, those other 23 hours a day, I thought, what if you had a constant stream of a checklist? Something you're always thinking about that influences all the decisions you make during the day to become happily healthy. So, the Big 5 checklist. I'd love to go through all of them, but I don't have enough time. Ask me during the Q&A, please. So, 1, buddy up. 2, use your body. 3, puzzle your plate. 4, snack with gusto. 5, drink water, not soda. Things that you don't actually have to do, you just have to think about. So when something comes around, you can make that healthy decision, and all these small adjustments in your life help you lead that healthy lifestyle. Now, what is with the Buzz Lightyear pictures? You guys probably thinking like, is he joking around? Is he kidding? Is he not taking this seriously? Well, I am. If you recall Toy Story 1, Buzz Lightyear stepped onto the scene and he said to everyone, he said, I can fly. I'm awesome. I have wings. And then he tried to jump off a balcony. He fell, broke his leg, really, really sad. He's in the dumpster. He's like, oh, no, I couldn't do it. And then he learns from his friends, and they have the high pursuit chase with Slinky, and then they're in the back of the car, and he goes flying with the firecracker. That's awesome. He succeeded in the end. Toy Story 1 and Buzz Lightyear's story is exactly what happened to me. I stepped into the scene. I said I was going to create a guideline. I was going to create a program that kids are going to do. They're going to give me feedback, and I'm going to be able to develop a perfect way to find your happy, healthy. But then I failed. I failed miserably. And that taught me that failure is going to be a part of life. And these simple adjustments and these simple effort towards my goal would get me over that failure and get me to where I want to be. If you saw anything today that you want to look at further, like the training programs, the actual checklist, the guidelines, anything you want to know about nutrition, please email me. So help me help you find your happy, healthy. Thank you.
I was going to ask you about Toy Story, so you ruined my question. But
Sorry, yeah.
Explaining that, yeah. I didn't think it meant that you weren't serious, but I was wondering why Toy Story.
Really, like any questions about anything I talked about? So like any part of the nutrition program or the training guides?
The research paper that you wrote, what did that look like?
Well, the research paper went into a little bit more depth about what I researched, like the health and the nutrition components. I talked about the actual things you shouldn't look for on a nutrition label. A good example would be yeast extract. If you see that on the ingredients, that's companies getting away with putting MSG in your food. So a bunch of things like that, like don't eat enriched flour and don't have sugar if it's in the first 5 ingredients. Little things like that that I did research on and found interesting about health. Beyond that, I mean, the paper had a couple things on the P90X and insanity. I went into details about what they've done. And I think that based on that research, I was able to create something that I was a little overzealous about. And I think that all that work manifested into something that I was too confident about. And then it was really, really tough when I couldn't get, anyone to do my program. So that was what my paper was about.
Do you do your own program? Do you do your own program?
I wrote those programs based on what I've been doing for the last year and a half.
Eric, did you go into any kind of questioning about why one's feeling about having an attractive body should be wrapped up in what makes us happy or unhappy, and how changing body types, for instance, I mean, I was watching a movie with Cary Grant the other day, and he took off his shirt and he didn't have a giant chest, for instance, and he was considered a very attractive guy. So clearly these body image things change over time. I don't know if you examined that as to why we should be, which standards of physical beauty are we using when we're looking at ourselves and deciding whether we're happy with our bodies or not.
I did not research that for my research project, but I think that body image is a very interesting topic. I talked a little bit with Kelsey Fox. Kelsey Fox did a body image thing about what it looks like and how beauty is actually in the eye of the beholder. And it's not about what you actually look like, it's what other people perceive you as. I did not do any research on that, but that would be an interesting thing that I think if I had more time, I would then continue to look into. Yes?
Did you research at all into how mental health plays into the overall healthful aspect of one's body and mind?
My original plan was not to research mental health. However, at the end, I actually realized that paying attention to your physical health may lead out into these better mental health endeavors. So if you work out your body, you feel better. You raise your hand more in class, you'll learn more things. So that would I think, be the only real connection that I found in my project between mental health and physical health.
Eric, so I'm someone who I've tried the gym thing, and you get on a gym kick, you're going for 4 weeks, and then you completely stop going.
Of course, yeah.
So I'm more of an active passion individual.
Of course, yeah, good.
And so I'm wondering, I think a big problem with our country and especially youth is finding that active passion.
Of course, yeah.
So I was wondering, do you have any ideas on how you could maybe as someone who's looking into health and exercise help people find their active passions?
My best advice for you, when I first wrote this presentation, I wanted to talk about what if your passion is non-active? Like, what if I like just being on the computer all day? And I think my suggestion would be take a risk. Try something new. You ever tried like Taekwondo or punching a boxing bag? That works for a lot of kids, I actually found. And just something that you would not ordinarily try. You ever tried golf, maybe?
Never tried golf.
It's brutal. It's just such a mental, I'm not going to get into that right now, but I would take a risk. Look for things that you like to do. If you like to watch sports on TV, maybe try a sport that you like to watch. Maybe do look up a YouTube video of like parkour or something like really, really cool, like an abnormal skill people have. It might not be juggling, but it might be doing like a circus act of some sort, like being able to climb structures really fast. I personally love climbing trees. I don't know why. I just kind of like doing it.
If you could change a piece of Newton North's physical education requirements based on your research, is there one aspect or a couple aspects that you would change?
Good question. This year I took the wellness class. I'm really enjoying that. I think that what Mr. Bauer is teaching kids is much, much better. But I actually think people should be able to audit a class for a week and a half, just to see if they like it. Because I think a lot of people have unrealistic expectations about what a gym class might be. For example, someone might take a class because, I don't have to change. But if they go in that class and they're miserable, completely miserable, they might want to switch out. So I think you should be given at least a week, and then you have to make your final decision. So you get to audit different classes at the beginning. That'd be what I'd like to see. That'd be cool.
And is that based on the fact that some of the kids dropped out of your program? Is that idea?
Oh, well, I was kind of thinking just in terms of happy, healthy. You see a gym class, you say, I'll use that to get healthy. But if you're not happy being in that gym class, why would you want to be in there in the first place? So you get to audit a bunch of different gym classes your first couple weeks. And then maybe you say, I definitely want to lock in with this one, because this is my happy, healthy.
Eric, what's your interest going forward? So are you, your mom's a physical therapist, you're into health, what do you want to do now?
Yeah, well, health has always been a big part of my life. But right now I'm kind of struggling with, do I make it my life, or I just make it a big component? Now, if I pursue business and I pursue maybe sales for some reason, because I actually really enjoy talking to people, but if I pursue something like that, I may then lose track of my healthy side. So I'm actually right now battling with, do I want to pursue health? Now I'll get to college and I'll probably say, man, health is awesome. After the business program, I want to do health. I want to do this with my life. So I think I'm going to pursue a career in health when I get older. That definitely seems like something I'm going to do.
But anything more specific yet?
A lot of kids have actually come to me and asked for workouts. People have asked me that didn't do my program, hey, can I get a couple workouts? And I loved helping people. I love telling people this is what you could do. So I think starting as a personal trainer and then seeing where it can go from there, I think that would be a really cool choice.
Are you available now?
Am I available now? So seriously, shoot me an email. I will send you everything I have, really.
Okay, in the interest of time, are there any more questions? One last question?
Sorry, my presentation ran a little bit long. I knew it was going to be 5 to 10 minutes over. All right, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
That was fun.